Call of Duty games have a ton of guns in them, but not all of those guns are created equal. Not all of those guns are any good. A lot of guns in COD history were kind of just thrown in there to fill space and make the progression feel a little more interesting. That's a fun fact. They were good or bad. It didn't matter. They were just forgettable, and you probably never touched them again once you got past them in the progression system. What is up, everybody? Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the video. Today, we're going to be looking at those forgotten guns in COD history. These are the top 10 guns that you used once and you never picked up again, ever. You let me know which of these you totally forgot about, because I know there will be at least one on this list. Drop a like. We're going to kick things off with the MP5 in Modern Warfare 3. Now, you're going to see a few MW3 guns on this list because MW3 had a lot of guns in multiplayer, which was really cool. The MP5 was your starting submachine gun. It was widely considered to be the worst as well. It fired at almost 900 rounds per minute, but in terms of handling, magazine size, and raw time to kill, well, it was by far the worst gun in the SMG category. It was a 3 to 5 shot kill, it only had a 30 round mag, and the reload time was obnoxiously long. Not to mention, the recoil was very bouncy like most MP5s in Call of Duty. It wasn't a terrible gun, but it was by far the worst SMG in that game. Every single other SMG had a bigger magazine, faster time to kill, and better handling attributes. So once you unlocked another SMG, you probably set the MP5 down and never thought about it again. Moving right along, the XR2 in Black Ops 3. Does anybody remember this gun? I've said this in a few videos. I think the XR2 was ridiculously underrated. And I'm gonna say it again. It was ridiculously underrated. Unlocked at level 1 of the Black Ops 3 multiplayer, the XR2 is a 3-round burst rifle with an auto burst feature that meant you could just hold down the trigger and the next burst would come out as soon as it was ready. So you didn't really have to learn any specific timing if you didn't want to. It would kill in 3 to 4 shots. It had extremely low recoil, good cover penetration, and a burst fire rate of 857 rounds per minute. Plus, the recoil pattern was straight up and down. So if you were running high caliber in that game and you aimed at the chest, well, it was virtually always a 1 burst kill. It was super strong, and honestly, I think it was better than the M8A7 in certain aspects. However, because it was a somewhat slow burst fire weapon, a lot of people passed over it and went for the KN-44 or the ICR. But if you're still playing Black Ops 3, or if you have it, go check it out again. This next entry, if you know, you know. The infield in Black Ops 1. Now, I know I love the gun. You guys know I love the gun, and I'm probably a minority in that, but that's okay. The infield was unlocked at level 5. It was pretty underwhelming when it came to raw stats. It hit for between 25 and 35 damage. It only fired at 750 rounds per minute, had some pretty low recoil. The handling speeds weren't terrible, but they weren't great, and the reload speeds were nothing to write home about. It was just an average gun on paper. Now, personally, I love the infield because it felt so buttery smooth, and it wasn't difficult to laser people from stupid distances. Sure, you wouldn't do as much damage like you would with some other guns, but it was good. It felt good. So why didn't people use it? Well, because once you unlock the guns like the AK and the FAMAS and the Galil and the M16 and the Commando, there was no reason to use the infield. Black Ops 1 was loaded with great assault rifles, and from a raw stat perspective, the infield was the runt of the litter. I still loved it though, even if it was ugly. At number 7, the M16A4 in Modern Warfare 3. Did you guys remember that the M16 was even in this game? It was unlocked at level 4, making it one of the first rifles you got your hands on. However, compared to previous versions of the rifle, it sucked. It had 2-shot kill potential up close, but it would quickly drop down to 4-shot kill, which would require 2 bursts, and the fire rate was dramatically toned down from COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2. The burst came out at 900 rounds per minute, which is respectable, but there was an extremely long burst delay that brought the overall fire rate down to 452. Yeah, the damage is in the details, my friends, which is not what you want in a 4-shot kill gun. It wasn't terrible. It was definitely a starter weapon because once you unlocked other rifles like the G36C, the Type 95, or the ACR, you never touched it again. Next up is the M4A1 in Modern Warfare 3. Another starter weapon. It was unlocked right at level 1, and it was designed to be one of those guns that just got you through the beginning of the progression. It hit for 42 and 20 damage with a 1.4 headshot multiplier, which kind of made it feel super inconsistent because it was anywhere from a 2-shot kill to a 5-shot kill. It wasn't terrible, but it was relatively slow time to kill compared to the other guns in the game. The MW3M4 was also weirdly bouncy. It didn't have great cover penetration or handling speeds. It was the definition of a basic starter weapon. And once you unlocked another rifle, you set it down and you never thought about it again. It's just how it was. At number 5, the Pharaoh in Black Ops 3. This was a very unique weapon, but it was one of those guns that people used once to see what it was like, and then they put it down and forgot about it. It was a 4-round burst SMG. It was like a pocket version of an M87, but the damage was obviously significantly lower. It would kill in 3 to 6 shots, which made it very inconsistent. While the burst came out quick and the burst delay was short, the gun just felt awkward to a lot of people, including myself. Burst weapons are supposed to be precise and rewarding, but the Pharaoh's inconsistent damage and awkward recoil pattern made people pass on it for a better SMG, maybe the VMP or the Kuda. I've had people come at me over the years for not liking the Pharaoh, and they all tell me I just don't know how to use it properly. But let's face it, most Black Ops 3 players used the Pharaoh for a few matches, and then they threw it away. Maybe they did their camo challenges, and then they forgot about it. This just wasn't a gun that people used a lot online. Everyone used it once to give it a try, but it was hardly anybody's first pick for an SMG. Speaking of burst SMGs, how about one that absolutely nobody used after they tried it? The AMR-9 in Advanced Warfare. This was the first ever 5-round burst submachine gun, and people were hyped about it. The description, a 5-round burst. Woo! That's awesome. I bet it's going to be super overpowered. But then we all tried it, and we never used it again. It was crap. It hit for as low as 19 damage. The timing on the fire rate was super awkward. In a game like Advanced Warfare where everybody was bunny hopping around and changing direction in midair, the absolute last thing you want to take in a battle is a burst fire gun that takes up to 6 shots to kill. It was doo-doo. Every Advanced Warfare player picked it up, tried it, and never used it again. I know the Pharaoh has a fan club out there, but the AMR-9 has nobody. It's alone. It's destitute. At number 3, the Type 25 in Black Ops 2. Now, the Type 25 is one of those guns that everybody remembers, but hardly anyone actually used past level 10. It was unlocked at level 4. It was a super fast firing automatic rifle that dealt pretty low damage, had some awkward recoil to get used to, but it would kill in 4 to 5 shots while shooting at almost 940 rounds per minute, the same as the Black Ops 1 FAMAS. But the recoil was a little bouncy. The reload animation, a little long. The first 2 automatics you got in Black Ops 2 were the Type 25 and the MTAR. And most people, including myself, gravitated towards the MTAR because of the superior handling and damage. And then once you unlock guns like the M27 and the FAL, you never look back. But personally, I liked the Type 25. If you could handle the recoil and stay on target, you could shred people with it. Was it as good as the AN-94 or the M27? No. Statistically, it was one of the worst rifles in the game. But I still liked it. At number 2, the M1911 in COD 4, the iconic handgun. It's appeared in almost every Call of Duty game. However, in COD 4 it wasn't any good. In fact, it was widely considered to be the worst pistol in the game due to its low ammo capacity. It had a high visual kick and the low damage compared to the Desert Eagle was drastic. The COD 4 1911 kicked to high heaven, only had 7 shots in the mag and did 20 damage. Meanwhile, the Desert Eagle kicked to high heaven, only had 7 shots. It was a 2-shot kill. So the 1911 was by far the worst pistol in COD 4, and most people, they just never ever used it. Why would you use that when you could use the Deagle or the USP or even the M9? And at number 1 today, the 357 in Modern Warfare 2019. Now this thing is crap. It's pure crap. It used to be really good, but now that the snake shot attachment has been nerfed, nobody actually uses this gun unless they're going for camos. And once you get gold, you never touch it again. It's a revolver, will kill in 2 shots to the body or 2 shots to the head, but there's this long shot delay when you pull the trigger, which makes it really hard to be precise. Then, the iron sights have this subtle sway to them, which makes them feel misaligned and like your shots aren't actually going where you point. And all in all, it's just worse than the Desert Eagle in every way. The Deagle kills in 1 to 2 shots, but the shots actually come out when you pull the trigger, and the iron sights don't misbehave, so why would you ever run the 357? For snake shot? Maybe. But for a regular gun, nobody runs it. Everybody tries it, thinks to themselves, this isn't that bad, and then puts it down after they lose 5 gunfights or gulags in a row. And there you have it. Those are guns that were one and done. You picked them up, you used them, and then you set them down. Let me know one gun that didn't make the list that was deserving, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you soon.